us for the annual celebration of Coast Guard Day, and we also think of it as Joshua James Day, and the annual meeting of the Hull Lifesaving Museum. My name is Lori Newmeyer. I have the great honor and privilege of being the executive director of our wonderful organization, and it's a great pleasure to see you all here today. Mr. Perkins, the new CEO of Point Allerton, thank you very much for being here with your family and for arranging the honor guard, such a special part of our morning. Volunteerism is enormously important to us, and two of the people we'll be talking about today, Mike and Mo, really have shown how people who go above and beyond the duty of life, but give more of themselves to bring such remarkable value to others and help build community, how that's happened all through the history of Mass Humane Society, Life-Saving Service, and the U.S. Coast Guard in the town of Hull. I thought today I might just briefly remind us of the story of the Monomoy Point disaster, because one of the remarkable features in Hull is that in the rescues in Hull, no life-saving service person ever lost his life during a rescue, and also no person who was alive, no person being rescued who was alive at the beginning of a rescue ever lost his or her life in a rescue. And while that maybe doesn't sound extraordinary, it is utterly extraordinary. In Monomoy Point in 1902, the also remarkable crew of that life-saving station set out to rescue. And what began as a fairly routine rescue, albeit in fog, huge seas, and wind, it turned into a devastating disaster when the entire crew of the life-saving boat was drowned by the people they were trying to rescue, who panicked once they got aboard the life-saving boat. There was one survivor of the crew, Mr. Ellis, who was himself saved by a wrecker on a nearby barge and brought Mr. Ellis to shore. This was, of course, devastating to the town of Monomoy, to the life-saving service, and very deeply felt by Joshua James and his crew. And Joshua's response was to drill all the harder with his men, who, although were tremendous professionals, still needed to be sharp in every aspect of their work and needed never to be complacent. Of course, we see that in the fascinating work that goes on here at Point Allerton today. On the morning in March, Joshua took his crew out for a drill, working in their new self-bailing lifeboat that was newly deployed, so he wanted to make absolutely certain that everyone knew the workings of it. After a many-mile row off the shore of Stony Beach, the crew came back to shore as they had done hundreds and hundreds of times before. But on this day, as Joshua jumped to the earth, he turned to his crew, and the legend tells us he said to them, "The tide is ebbing," and fell to the ground and died on the beach, at Stony Beach in front of the station. Of course, the station went on. Mr. Sparrow was brought in as the new keeper and really ushered in a new era, although the remarkable ethic of the life-saving service, beginning with the Mass Humane Society, carried forward into the magnificent work of today's U.S. Coast Guard, who we're so proud to honor with you. We're going to begin with Joshua James, so Charlotte Gillis, magnificent coxswain, oarswoman, and ninth grader?